What is up, everybody? It's Brandon from 3H Survival, and today I'm going to go over cleaning an AR and what using an AR suppressed ends up looking like. It could be a very messy thing running a suppressor, which I can't show taking a suppressor off on camera. So, suppressor gone. So now we could set that off to the side. Now, easy way to clean a suppressor is going to be just putting it in an ultrasonic cleaner. It's the easiest way, especially if you have a suppressor that is not able to be torn apart and clean each individual piece. So that is the easiest way to do this. I'll just throw it in my ultrasonic cleaner about every 5,000 rounds and it cleans up just fine, and then it's good for another 5,000 rounds. So let's talk about the lower receiver first. There's a lot of gunk and craziness going on inside of here because using a suppress, all of that stuff, whenever you shoot around, goes back through into this rifle. So even on the spring and buffer tube weight, just gets a ton of stuff on it. So I will actually clean out all of this on my other ARs. I really don't have to get in here and clean anything, but anything I use suppressed, it is actually pretty important to get in there and clean it all. Now, what I normally use is some breakthrough just to get in there and spray everything down. Another main part that we're going to have to clean is this disgusting thing. I know some of you will be like, oh, that's not disgusting at all, but it is. Like, you should probably clean your stuff once in a while. I'm not saying all the time, but I shoot this one quite a bit. I've definitely put it through the ringer, and it definitely needs some cleaning. If you want your rifles to hold up and last for a long period of time, this is just something that you're going to want to do to just upkeep your firearms. You don't need a lot of stuff. You don't need even special stuff. I mean, alcohol will work. I've used alcohol in the past if I didn't have any specific cleaner around. So let's use alcohol today just to show that it's able to clean some stuff. You just spray it down with paper towel. And look at all that gunk coming off of it with just alcohol. Now, the things you want to think about is all these little particles and buildup is going to affect your firearm eventually. It may not be right now, but at some point you're going to have an issue to where it jams or something stops working correctly, or like I had an issue a little bit ago to where my bolt carrier group would not come out. It was stuck in because of all the carbon buildup on the actual bolt carrier, that it just stuck inside the receiver and would not move. So I had to spray it down and get it out of there. But these are all things that you want to make sure that you are doing so those things don't happen. Now, if those things do happen, it's fine. Just get it out, clean it, and then you won't have an issue again. But if I were to need this firearm and something happened to where I absolutely needed to protect my family, or any instance like that, and I picked this up and I was not able to charge or prime my firearm, that would have been a very bad situation. So, charging handle was clean. And no, you could see that this charging handle is not the one that you're supposed to use suppressed, which I have found that most of the ones that have the little slots in the side to help out with back pressure and, you know, the stuff coming back in your face don't really help that much anyway. So I don't put the extra money in buying a specific charging handle when I'm using suppressed. It works just fine. Just wear glasses so you don't have all that stuff coming back into your eyes, because that's no fun. Now let's clean out this upper receiver real quick. Now with this method, I'm not going to be able to clean out my actual bore. Usually I'll use like a cleaner with the rope and little brass kind of end on it, and that works really good, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll just run it through when I get home. It's a super easy process. I actually keep it in my shooting bag just so I have it with me and I can just run it through if I need be. But realistically, it's not going to be your actual bore that gets crazy dirty from this sort of stuff. It's going to just shoot all back into here, and you could actually look through your bore and tell if it's nice and nasty, which this one's okay. It could definitely use a good run through, but nothing crazy. I actually cleaned this before I took it to the SOE party and shot it quite a bit, and you could see how dirty it is. Obviously this video is not for everyone. I'm sure if you have firearms, you know how to clean your stuff, but there are people first getting into shooting and trying to learn things like this, and unfortunately in the shooting preparedness community, there's not a lot of people that are willing to help out. So we're just pretty much getting the bulk of the nastiness off the upper receiver. And remember, if you are using alcohol with this, you want to definitely make sure you lube it up. It's going to get rid of pretty much everything off of it. So if you don't run it with lube, it's going to have issues. So get yourself some good gum lubrication that you can rub on this when you're done. So I'm just going to clean the outside as well, because stuff just gets everywhere. You can actually see on the bottom of the EOTech how much blowback gets that too, and just makes it all nice and dirty, but I don't really give a shit about that part. That's what they're for, to use. So this is pretty good. You can see that it's a little shiny in there again. Still quite a bit of a buildup, but this isn't a precision rifle. This isn't something I'm gonna spend 3 days cleaning. I'm just getting it in running order again. Now this is going to be a tricky part to get into. So I'm just going to spray this down and get it as clean as I possibly can. Now normally what I would do is get in here and take this apart and clean each individual piece. And you can see here that from all of the buildup, my safety selector is getting a lot harder to use. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and cleaned again, and able to be in running order. Another thing when you're cleaning these, you might have to put down your hammer. You never want to release this hammer without having your thumb there, because it'll hit this very hard. It could damage it, it could not, but you don't want to test it. So always, anytime you're relieving it, put your thumb here and relieve it nicely. I would say a good rule of thumb is about every few times that you're cleaning your AR, take it completely apart. Work on the safety selector switch, your hammer, your triggers, and really clean everything out, just so, you know, once in a while you're able to get most of these parts clean in here. Now normally on a regular AR that I don't run suppressed, this isn't going to be something that I really worry about that much. I might do it maybe once every 5 years. But on this one, this is definitely my most used one. Give it hell, throw it, roll with it. So I want to make sure that it is running correctly and clean, fairly clean. Now we could get on to the BCG, or bolt carrier group. You might need a little pin to get this little pin out. You might get lucky and be able to pull it out. Does not look like I'm going to be able to. Let's see. Nope. So you could get yourself something laying around to be able to grip that. It's going to be a lot harder the more kind of buildup there is too. There we go. So you take this out. We'll keep all our parts laid out. I'm going to take, oh yeah, that's hard to get out because all the extra nastiness. Turn this to the side, remove this, and then this will pop out. Now your ejector, you might need to change this out once in a while. This one's still pretty good. Just inspect everything, make sure it's in good working order before going through with the cleaning. Now I'll just spritz her all down, give her a nice little soak. And start getting all of this buildup off of it. The main focus on your firing pin is going to be right down here. You'll see a lot of buildup start to happen right here, which will cause an issue with it firing correctly. So I do make sure that I clean this part quite a bit and make sure that it is clean. They also make special tools that have like scratchers and stuff for this, but doing it this way works just fine. Anytime I clean a part, I'll just put it in a different area. And you could see that, you know, there's tons of special gun cleaning chemicals and all of that stuff out there that, yes, it works. But so does alcohol. And you could easily find alcohol literally anywhere and be able to clean your stuff. Yes, I still do have, you know, Breakthrough and all these other name brand gun cleaners, but this works just as well. And being a tattoo artist, I always have some alcohol laying around that I could use. You can see on the end of this right here, there's quite a bit of buildup, so I'm going to make sure that I might need to get an actual tool to scratch some of this buildup off. It looks pretty stuck on there. And yes, I completely understand that there are so many tools to gun cleaning that you definitely can have. And, you know, special tools to get into all the nooks and crannies and clean out pretty much everything to get it mint and squeaky clean. But this is something that I do whenever I am out and about, or I just need to get my AR in working order. You don't need all those fancy things just to get it clean and be able to have it run again. So with these two things, paper towels and alcohol, you can get your firearm back up and running. So now at this point, I have it pretty clean, but you can see every time I touch it, I'm making dirty fingerprints. So at this point, when I have everything to the point to where it's pretty clean, I'll clean off my hands, getting all that extra nasty stuff off my hands so I could go through and finish cleaning everything up. Now we should be in good working order again. So now I got a little bit of a synthetic grease. You could use oil, grease, whatever you want to use. I clean this so much that it really doesn't matter too much. I'm going to put a little bit on my firing pin. Work that in there. The reason I put some of this stuff on is so when I go to clean it again, there's a nice little barrier. Yes, the stuff will stick to it, but I'll be able to clean it off a lot easier next time as well. Okay, so now you're going to notice you could turn this two ways. There's this way, and you can see here there's two holes, right? So if we do it this way, you could try as you might, but this will not go in. Why is that? Because it's pressed down right there so it doesn't fit. So you can't accidentally put this in wrong, because you want to make sure the ejector, the round ejector, is in the right place. So when you put this in, if it's not going in, that means you have it rotated the wrong way. It should just be able to very easily slide in like that. Then you're going to rotate this like that. Put in your firing pin, put that in, and then this is ready to go again. So now we could go put some grease on the actual receiver in places to where it's going to meet it. So in here, pretty much any places to where metal is going to be up against metal, I'm just going to put a little light layer of grease. comes our charging handle. Slap that in like that. Place our BCG. That part's ready to rock and roll. I'm going to grease up this safety selector a little bit because it's been a little bit rough as of late. I'll probably have to take it out and clean out the actual contact areas. Actually, that grease helped quite a bit. Cool. So now we could assemble it back together. Now we're just going to rack it a few times. So now everything is back to working order, as you can see here. We can't forget about the good old-fashioned suppressor. Now, like I said, I can't show using this. I can't show installing this on camera. So, oh, that was easy. So as you can see here, now it is ready to go again for my next great adventure. Now I know, I'm sure you've seen plenty of people clean their firearms with all sorts of fancy stuff and saying that this is the best and all of that. And they might be right, but I've used alcohol for quite a bit of my life. And if you are new to the channel, if you would watch a couple of my other videos, you'll be able to see that I shoot quite a bit. And this is something that's worked for me. If I'm in a pinch, I could literally go to the dollar store and get everything I need to be able to clean my firearm effectively and get back into it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was able to help you guys out. Learn how to clean your rifle, pistol with two things. You don't need all this crazy gun cleaning kits and all of this stuff to be able to effectively clean your rifle to a point to get it back ready to go. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Stop bitching and complaining and start prepping and training. And I'll see you in the next one.